Have you got any idea what this gadget is? Have a guess before I tell you. This piece on the bottom actually opens out and clips in place like this. And there's a metal blade on top. It's actually for removing corn kernels from corn on the cob. Did you guess right? I've never used one before, so let's see. Will it successfully strip all the kernels off in seconds? Or will it be a big fail? You can see when I hold it up against a corn on the cob, the curve on the blade is a good match to the radius of the corn. But I am a bit worried that I might accidentally cut my thumb or fingers with this gadget. So to keep safe, I'm putting on my cut-resistant glove. Then I sat the gadget on top. And oh wow, it's actually quite a struggle to pull through. There we go. Let's have a look. Wow, it's cut a whole strip off, and I guess we can break them all up later. I'll do a few more and do them straight into this bowl. That's the last of it done, and it has done a good job of removing nearly all of the kernels. And the bits that we've got, yeah, we can break them all up. I noticed two things about the gadget. When you close it, this piece comes around against the blade to stop you from cutting yourself while you're storing it, and also there's a non-slip rubber tip on the end here. So I think I can also use it resting against a table like this. Let's see if this works better. I will say it does take quite a lot of force to push it through. And it does get a bit messy, with lots of half-cut kernels sticking to things like my glove. It has done what it was supposed to, but it is a little bit of a struggle to use. Next up we've got this. It's a multifunction spoon that can apparently fix one of the most annoying kitchen problems. It's called the Mini Suppoon, which is short for sit-up scraping spoon, and it comes in various colours. It looks like a slightly odd long-handled spoon with this funny bend in the handle, but it's got some bold claims. First of all, I'd say it feels really nicely made. Decent quality plastic, with this red spoon end, which is slightly flexible. It's got these bold, quite sharp corner lines, which are very purposeful. And if we look at the handle, it tells us it measures exactly 1 teaspoon, or 5 milliliters in volume. So it's quite a handy tool if you need to measure out for cooking. These straight edges have been designed like this to help scrape out containers and jars when you can't easily get the last bits out with a normal spoon. I've got this tub of margarine, which is nearly empty, and also some jars. I can see it's going to be really effective on this container. Yeah, look at that. It easily scrapes everything off the bottom and the sides. And it even goes down into the corners nicely. And that's quite an impressive amount of additional margarine. And this little bend in the handle, well, this also serves a function. Check it out. It allows us to put it down onto the work surface without it making a mess. Huh, that is cool. But how well does it work on a round jar? Surely it's got to be more difficult than a margarine tub. Okay, so the first thing I'm noticing is you can really get up kind of underneath the shoulder of the jar in here. That's definitely one of the hardest places to clean out. Then also all around the bottom, scraping it off the base, and in the corner where it meets the sides. That really does work well, but I want to test it with something a bit more sticky, so I'm going to try it with this peanut butter jar. I've got to be honest, I'm actually finding this quite fun. And check it out, the jar is so much cleaner than I'd ever have got it with a normal spoon. I'm impressed. That's definitely a win for this little gadget. Next up we've got this. It's a mug that doesn't need a spoon, it literally stirs itself. But I want to find out, is it borderline genius, or is it completely unnecessary? So my first impressions are it actually looks quite smart. The lid comes off and you can see the little stirrer in the middle. There's a rubber seal around the outside, and after I looked at the instructions quickly, it tells me I need to remove this little orange tab to install some batteries. Now if I press this little button on top, yeah, you can see it spinning. And on the top of the lid, there's a nice little silicone heart-shaped button, which lines up with the switch inside. Put it all back together, and we're ready to try it. I'm going to start with some easy stuff, and we're going to get progressively harder with thicker drinks. So first up, if you just want to mix some sugar in with your coffee. Yeah, no problem at all. Wow, it really does stir it. Look at that whirlpool. But now I'm going to try adding some frothing milk. Press the button and... oh no, I think it's too full. Ah, disaster! What a mess. Okay, so remember, we mustn't fill it up too much. I tried again, with a little bit less this time. And when I took the lid off, there is a little bit of froth in the middle, but really not much. But what happens if I put it halfway in? Oh yeah! Wow, a very frothy coffee. You can even remove the stirrer for cleaning and place the top back on to keep your drink warm. And once you've cleaned the stirrer, you can store it down inside the handle. But how well will it make hot chocolate? I've heated up some milk, so let's pour it in. Then add a couple of spoonfuls of drinking chocolate and press the button. Whoa, that's so cool. Open it up and yeah, nice frothy hot chocolate. I even used it for mixing up some milkshakes. Pretty cool, huh? It looks amazing watching the colour transform. And they come out nice and frothy too. But how about a protein shake? Or a meal replacement powder? Turn it on and this stuff normally thickens up a bit. It seems to be mixing it okay, although there is a line of powder all the way around the surface of the drink that hasn't been mixed in. I'll have to scrape it off the sides and stir it in with a spoon. I'll give it another mix for a few seconds. And now, yeah, no issues. It's a nice smooth consistency. But now I'm going to give it the ultimate challenge. Can it whip cream? I poured a load in and put the top on. And pressed the button. You can see it's visibly thicker again than the other drinks. And check it out, it looks like the stirrer isn't even spinning straight anymore. I think it's because it's so thick. It's definitely not recommended for this. After about a minute, I took it out to have a look. And I think it is actually thickening up. So I left it spinning for a while longer, and then it ground to a halt. Let's have a look. Oh no, I forgot to turn it off. What a mess. But inside, there we go, we've got whipped cream. It's definitely thicker in the middle where the stirrer was, rather than the outsides. But if I mix it all together with a spoon, now we've got a nice thick consistency. If you're enjoying this video, I've got loads more coming soon. So make sure you subscribe because you won't want to miss them. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get this channel to 10 million subscribers. Next up we've got this, and this might be one of the most satisfying to watch, because it turns your vegetables into something completely different. Wow, this thing's difficult to get out of the package. But there we are, it's a handheld spiralizer for turning your veg into noodles. But would you swap pasta for veg? Let's see. First I'm going to try it with this carrot. Push it down inside, start turning it, and oh yes! Look at that! Straight away, we're getting nice long strands of carrot. It's kind of like a massive pencil sharpener. I often find with spiralizers that as the strands get longer, they start snapping. But this one actually seems to be doing really well. And when you get to the end, to keep your fingers safe, you can take this plate with spikes on and use it to do the last few turns. Then when it comes to the end, remove the carrot, and snap off the last few strands. And check that out, super cool, and I've got a feeling some of these pieces are really long. Let's have a look. Check this piece out, it's got to be well over 1 meter long. You can see it's cut it into nice, thick, consistent pieces. But let's see how well it works with a courgette, or zucchini. Zucchini noodles are often referred to as zoodles, and they're really popular because they're a low-calorie and low-carb alternative to pasta. They're packed with nutrients, and they're really healthy. This time when I used the spiky plate to push the last bit through, it didn't really work. It's actually chewed up the end of the vegetable. But I still got most of it through, and of course we can just chop this last bit up with a knife. But look, again, it's done a really good job of transforming it. Nice, thick, strong, consistent pieces. Heat it up in a pan and have it with a sauce. Next I'm going to try out this, and I'm not completely sure this should even exist. It's a vegetable spiralizer that attaches to a drill. Is this a terrible idea? It sounds like a kitchen accident waiting to happen. But first I've got to figure out how to use it. There's quite a few parts. It comes with 3 different cutting attachments. The first one's got a flat blade. Then there's this serrated blade for cutting crinkles. And there's this one with 2 blades, which I think should cut long strands. It looks like this bit clips in here for attaching to the drill. And I think this bit must be the base. With this removable spiky plate, which I guess is for gripping the produce. It looks like we select one of the cutting discs and attach it to the end of the cup like this. It came with these instructions, but they're not that easy to work out. I got my drill ready, and this piece has to go in the chuck. Then I think we can fit this whole cup thing on the end, and... hey, check it out! Surely this is a terrible idea. I'm going to start by trying it with something soft, and we'll get to the harder stuff later. I'll put a few of these mushrooms in, and I'm hoping it works quite well. So now what do? I guess this thing just sits on top. Okay, I'll hold it like this, then attach the drill at the top, then I guess I should hold the base. Okay, it's spinning. It's not doing much. Oh, hang on. I think it's going the wrong way. Oh, that's better. Whoa, check it out. You've got to hold on to it tight, but look at that. It's really working. I love how it all fills up into the container. Okay, there's a few bits left behind, but let's open this thing up. Oh, blimey, that's tight. Ah, it's got a backwards thread on it, because otherwise it will come undone when it's turning in the drill, and I'm going to empty it all out into a pan. Look at that, perfectly cut up mushrooms. And we can remove this base piece to add these little bits too. But how well will it work on something harder? I'm going to test it on a potato. This one's pretty big. And this time I'll try out the serrated cutter. So attach it to the end, and line up the cup. And right, I'm going to hold it nice and firmly this time. Whoa, check it out. That's actually working. Wow, look at that. This thing is awesome. Using it like this doesn't feel dangerous either. It feels alright. Let's see the results. Okay, so we've got some pretty long spiral bits. This bit's good. Look at that. I reckon we can place these onto an oven tray and bake them. And there's a whole load of other little bits too. There's a nice crinkle cut to them, so let's try making our own crisps, or chips. I gave them a little spray of oil and placed them in the oven, and we'll come back to them later when they're crispy. But now I'm really curious, how well do you think it's going to work with an onion? I've got a feeling this isn't going to go well. Onions can be notoriously difficult with kitchen gadgets. There's so many layers to them, and it can just clog things up and stop them working. But let's give it a go and see what happens. I think we should probably just go with a normal flat cutter for this one. So, let's sit it on top, attach the drill, and, well, here goes. Oh, hang on a minute, that's looking pretty good. I'll go a little bit faster and... Whoa! That's crazy! It looks like I've turned a whole onion into spaghetti. That is amazing. Massive long spirals of onion. But what could I use this for? Maybe a stir fry or onion bhajis? If you've got any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Now, there's two more things I want to try. First is this little apple. It sits in there really well. And I'm going to use the crinkle cutter for this. I think this should work quite well. Oh yeah, nice. Check it out. I'll tip it out onto a chopping board and... I thought we might get some nice long spirals with this, but it's kind of broken up into pieces. And of course there's still all of the apple pips there, but we have got some pretty cool pieces, and I really like the crinkle cut. And look, there's virtually no waste in the bottom this time. But next I want to try spiralizing this courgette or zucchini. This time I'm going to use this cutter to see if I can cut it into nice long strands. But we've got a bit of an issue. I don't think I'm going to be able to use the holder. So I think the only way to do it is by holding it in my hand and feeding it in manually. That looks a bit scary, so for this one I'm definitely putting on my cut-resistant glove. Okay, I'll line it up with the middle bit, and let's see what happens. What do you think? Can I get the whole of this courgette inside of the container? Okay, so I'm off to a good start. It's actually going nice and smoothly. I'll rearrange my hand to hold it from the back, and whoa, it's already pretty full. Am I going to be able to get this last bit in? Let's see. Right, that's close enough I think. I'm stopping there. And take a look, that's pretty full. It has left a bit of a mess on the table, but let's open it up and see what we've got. Okay, there's a bunch of these smaller pieces, and they haven't really cut properly into strands. Then we've got this, which is, wow, actually really long. It hasn't really cut it into those nice thin strands like I wanted, and it probably didn't help that I squeezed so much into the container. But I've got to say this has been one of the most fun kitchen gadgets I've used for a long time. Now, do you remember those potatoes I put in the oven earlier? Well, I didn't. I completely forgot about them while I was filming. I left them in the oven way too long. Check it out. They've completely dried up. Well, I said I wanted them crispy. But what do you reckon? Would you like me to try again and see what food we can make with this gadget? Have you got any cool recipe suggestions? Or ideas on what else I could use this gadget with? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see how I used kitchen gadgets to make some delicious international cuisine from around the world, you can click on the link here. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my new videos, and thanks for watching!